right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
An accused cop killer found guilty.
It is a form of closure. Not the closure that I seek, but it's still one that I would accept.
Tonight, emotional reaction from the fallen officer's family just moments after that verdict was handed down.
Rain and thunder rolling across the greater St. Louis area tonight. We're tracking a flood advisory right now and updating the weekend rain chances.
The ice cream cone and the hot dog bun. Tonight, our Verify team digs into tasty tales from the 1904 World's Fair. First tonight, rain and storms are moving through the bi-state right now, and it could make for a noisy night. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. The good news, though, these storms shouldn't turn severe. Let's get straight over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the weather first forecast.
Yeah, severe weather's not expected, but we have had some rumbles of thunder, and boy, has it poured tonight around the metro area. We told you that rain was coming in after 7 o'clock, and it was right on schedule, starting in 7:38, and then between 8:30 and 9, we really picked up the heavy rain right here across Metro St. Louis. And so you have a flood advisory until 11:45 that does include a good chunk of the city, especially going down towards South City, towards Lee heading down towards Arnold. Here's where the rain is right now. And again, waves of heavier rain moving through. It's actually let up in intensity some from what we were looking at earlier, but this is still moderate rain in and around St. Louis. We're up to 9,400s in the rain bucket over at Cahokia Heights at Parks Airport. That's just in the last couple of 3 hours. So again, for the next hour or two, this rain's going to continue around the St. Louis area, and we will watch as this slides on to the north. Along 270 here in Madison County, you've picked up some of the heavier rain. It started to pick back up into St. Charles County, but it is lifting more towards the north. Cold fronts coming in from the west. Once that cold front scoots on through, then we'll start to see things settle down. That's probably going to be just before daybreak tomorrow morning. So some minor flooding issues to deal with over the next couple of hours, Kelly.
All right, Scott, and remember, you can get the latest weather first forecast anytime on KSDK.com and the 5 on Your Side app. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355, and we'll send it straight to your phone.
About 90 minutes ago, Illinois Route 159 was reopened in Swansea following a deadly crash. The 3-car wreck happened around 5:30 tonight on 159 near Parkway Place. We just got off the phone with the Swansea police chief, who confirms one person was killed in that crash. One person was airlifted to a St. Louis hospital. 2 others were taken to a hospital in the Metro East. The crash remains under investigation.
Tonight, Thomas Kenworthy faces life in prison after a jury found him guilty of murdering a police officer. Kenworthy killed St. Louis police officer Tamaris Bohannon while he was responding to a home break-in in 2020. Brent Solomon is live outside the courtroom where just hours ago the jury reached its verdict.
Yeah, we brought you that verdict live on our air as it was happening. Now, new tonight, Officer Bohannon's father relieved and reacting. He's glad that the jury did not buy the defense's argument that the killer suffered from a mental defect. Watch Thomas Kenworthy's expressionless face in court Thursday before the verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
The same afterwards, as he calmly walks past the family of the St. Louis police officer he murdered.
This has been a long road for us. It's not been easy.
Officer Tamaris Bohannon's father, speaking immediately after the jury found Kenworthy guilty of 9 counts.
It is a form of closure. Not the closure that I seek, but it's still one that I would accept.
Back in 2020, Kenworthy broke into a home in Tower Grove, ordered the couple who lives there out of the home, and then shot the 2 officers who responded. One officer survived. Bohannon did not. It took the jury 3 hours Thursday to arrive at its decision.
A violent criminal is now facing the sentence that is appropriate, which is a sentence of spending the rest of his life in prison.
Bohannon leaves behind a wife and 3 children. Now his father is sending a message of support to those who go to work every day to protect and serve.
And I want to say to all the officers that are out there today, I want to thank you for putting that uniform on every day. And I want to thank you for supporting us here in this city for defending us, keeping us safe, being there for us when we need you.
This trial lasted for 8 days. Right after it ended, Police Chief Robert Tracy sent an internal memo to his officers thanking them for their service and saying that justice is now served, and a somber reminder of someone who paid the ultimate sacrifice. A judge will sentence Kenworthy next month. Live in St. Louis, Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
New information tonight about the large gathering of protesters, pro-Palestinian protesters on the campus of St. Louis University. No arrests were reported during the rally. However, 5 on your side has obtained video showing a fight between 2 students after the gathering. Witnesses tell us it involved a student carrying an Israeli flag and a pro-Palestinian protester. SLU's Department of Public Safety confirms officers quickly intervened. Neither student was seriously hurt. The Office of Student Responsibility and Community Standards is now looking into the matter. Tonight, a St. Louis County teenager is charged as an adult in connection with more than 50 crimes.
He is accused of committing a year-long spree of car break-ins and more. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend spent the day looking into the disturbing case, Robert.
Indeed, Kelly and Mike. Wanell Carter now has a mugshot and a long list of charges behind his name. This case has left concerned community leaders shaking their heads. Court documents reveal startling allegations against 17-year-old Wanell Carter. According to a probable cause statement, between June of 2022 and June of 2023, the teen reportedly broke various windows on numerous cars throughout the St. Louis County region. Investigators say he then stole numerous purses, credit cards, firearms, and several motor vehicles at various locations. Prosecutors charged the teen as an adult, slapping him with 53 felonies, including first-degree property damage, stealing a motor vehicle, and burglary.
It's sad when I see that because I go into the juvenile detention centers every week to mentor the youth, and I talk to them about my mistakes.
In 2022, Bobby Bostic was released from prison after serving 27 years of what was supposed to be a 241-year sentence. Bostic was behind bars for his role in an armed robbery he committed when he was 16 years old. He's written books about his experiences.
I was a child when I committed my crime, but we were certified as adults.
In hopes of reaching troubled teens early before they turn to violence and crime.
I try to teach them how to write business plans because a lot of crime comes from poverty. And a lot of that crime that they commit, it leads to serious consequences.
The person has to be willing themselves to accept the responsibility of change.
4 years ago, Eric Barber started a community-based program called Common Goals and Minds. One of the nonprofit's goals is to keep boys 14 and up on the right track.
We should have someone advocating, stepping up, trying to steer them in the right direction.
Police arrested Carter while he was driving a stolen car with several of the stolen items inside. Carter was booked at the St. Louis County Jail. If he posts bond, a judge ordered he must wear a GPS monitoring device.
New information tonight about the resignation of the superintendent of Wentzville Schools. Tomorrow, Danielle Tromala will receive a nearly $500,000 payment from the district. Altogether, she will be paid more than $1 million by June 30th. 5 on your side obtained her separation agreement with the district through Missouri Sunshine Law. Last month, she took a sabbatical and submitted her resignation after receiving several threats. As part of the settlement to buy out the last 3 years of her contract, Tromala has agreed not to sue the district.
The community is being asked to come out tomorrow to honor a fallen Marine from St. Charles County. The body of Sergeant Colin Arslanbus will arrive at St. Louis Lambert International Airport around 12:30. The 22-year-old Fort Zumwalt West grad was killed during a training mission in North Carolina. The public is invited to line the procession route to show support to Sergeant Arslanbus and his family. The route is along Interstate 70 between the airport and Bowie Cave Springs. Drivers should be aware that portions of the interstate will be closed between 1 and 2 tomorrow afternoon. Tonight, a North County tradition is back.
The Valley of the Flowers Festival returned to the streets of Florissant. It kicked off the festivities with Family Night. A full weekend of activities will take place at 2 different sites. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski takes us to the fairgrounds in Old Town Florissant.
We are sliding into the 62nd year of the Florissant Valley of Flowers Festival, where generations of families have been making memories.
I've been doing this for 45 years, and over time, you watch the little ones become big ones, and their little ones become big ones, and you see them coming back for more.
It's a blast from the past, but it's nice to be able to bring your family and do the same thing that you did growing up.
The Valley of Flowers Festival started in the early 1960s.
It started out as a gardening club, and they wanted to beautify Florissant, and they thought, well, why not have a flower festival around it?
And it keeps growing. There are more rides and vendors this year, especially for families with little kids.
You have fun in the Magic House, though, with the mirrors?
Yeah, and I got out and got to swing.
Having my son right here, I got to show him a good time, you know, let him know this is what you do as a kid, you know. Some of us didn't get that growing up, so I'm trying to make those memories.
It's awesome. They love it. This is family night, and yeah,
it's a great event.
It is. Beautiful night. This is our first time doing the family night.
Mike Kubiak with the Knights of Columbus says it took a while to get the festival back to full strength after the pandemic and even flooding in the area.
When we had the 500-year flood, it did. It actually flooded the lower level of our building out. Everything up here is higher than the flood actually reached.
But the mission behind the whole weekend is still the same.
For this venue, for the Knights of Columbus, allows us to raise money for all of our charity activities. So any of the profits go to charity. It's not going into some other activity like that.
Reporting in Florissant, Laura Barcheski, 5 on Your Side.
The festival goes all weekend, and the 5 on Your Side team will be there on Sunday with the 5+ live bus in the Grand Parade. And it will end with the crowning of a queen. We'll have more details on KSDK.com.
And right now, lines are open for our mental health phone bank. Project 5 is once again teaming up with Behavioral Health Response. You can call for any mental health support through 10:30 tonight, the end of this newscast. Just dial 988 or text Be Heard with just the letter B to 31658.
Farewell to the chief.
The big thing is we reassure them that their financial worries are gone.
He's the backbone to backstoppers, helping families of fallen officers. Tonight he shares his plans to call it a career for a second time. St. Louis fair or folklore? Tonight our Verify team takes a big bite out of claims some food favorites were invented here at the 1904 World's Fair.
Downpours continue around the metro area, but the severe weather stayed in Texas this evening. When this batch of rain moves out, and the changes in our forecast to the weekend storm chances.
Honoring those who died in the line of duty. Today, the Illinois Peace Officers Memorial Service was held at the state capitol in Springfield. Governor J.B. Pritzker was joined by law enforcement officers throughout the state. 6 fallen officers were added to the memorial. Today, a change of leadership is coming to an organization that helps families of local fallen and injured first responders.
Yeah, Chief Ron Batel says he'll step down as executive director of Backstoppers at the end of the year. Since taking over in 2004, Backstoppers has seen remarkable growth and impact by paying off mortgages and other debt for families, and it's a job Batel calls rewarding.
I get wedding invitations all the time, or graduation invitations all the time for the kids that we've effectively raised, you know, and it's pretty humbling.
Chief Batel previously served nearly 40 years with the St. Louis County Police Department. A search is now underway for his successor.
By Thursday's return tonight to the Missouri History Museum, the first outdoor concert of the season just wrapped up about 2 hours ago with a tribute to Shaka Khan. People also enjoyed local food trucks and were able to explore the museum. Next week's concert features R&B singer and St. Louis native Anita Jackson. The new 1904 World's Fair exhibit opened at the History Museum this week.
And if you grew up in St. Louis, somebody at some point told you the ice cream cone was invented at the fair, along with a number of other classic American foods. But tonight, Ann Allred verifies if these tasty tales are fact or food fiction.
According to historians, there are 4 foods people most commonly claim were invented at the fair. Let's verify. Is it true the hot dog, hamburger, iced tea, and the ice cream cone were invented at the 1904 World's Fair? Our sources, Amanda Clark, public historian at the Missouri History Museum, and Robert Moss, historian and food writer. First, the hot dog. The story goes a vendor was giving people white gloves to hold the sausages he was selling, but he ran out of gloves. So his brother-in-law baked buns to hold the meat.
Before the World's Fair, people were already eating sausages in buns at baseball games.
On to the hamburger. A tale of a Texas man launching his ground beef between two slices of bread at the fair for the first time. But like the hot dog, our historians say there is documentation of hamburgers decades before the fair. Let's talk about iced tea.
Iced tea, same thing. The idea of this man who had a tea stand and it wasn't selling, and so then he put some ice in it and it sells, when in reality he was a really profitable and very prominent tea purveyor, so he would have totally known what to do with it.
And last but not least, the ice cream cone. Legend has it an ice cream vendor ran out of serving dishes and voila, links up with a waffle vendor who rolls his waffle into a cone.
I can find absolutely no information that substantiates that this actually happened that way.
We can verify false. The hot dog, hamburger, iced tea, and the ice cream cone were not invented at the 1904 World's Fair. In fact, our experts say no food was invented during the fair. Historians believe these stories survived and thrived because they all feature moments of desperation or flashes of brilliance. And as famous Missourian Mark Twain once said, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. I'm Ann Allred. 5 on your side.
Oh, come on.
0 for 4.
What can Ann verify for you? Email her. The email address is verify@ksdk.com.
I was hoping at least the ice cream.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Something.
Yeah.
88 today for the high. We need an ice cream cone.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Could have used
Although
that.
It would wash away tonight with all this rain. You know, we said it was coming in after 7 o'clock, and it really in St. Louis started coming down between 8 and 9. And we've had in the metro area upwards of an inch of rain in a pretty short amount of time here. It's really been concentrated around the metro area. So we do have a flood advisory. That's in effect until 11:45. It does include much of the city of St. Louis down into South County, across into the metro east, generally around 270, 255. It's just a large area of rain that we're dealing with right now. It started out as scattered thunderstorms coming in from the west as they advanced into St. Louis. We expected them to expand. They did. The good news is the number of lightning strikes here, only about 3 in the last 15 to 20 minutes. So you're not looking at a lot of rumbling this evening. Things starting to settle down somewhat in terms of the thunder. The cold front's still back in mid-Missouri. Until it gets through here, we have to deal with some more rain. So a few more hours, but not as intense as it was earlier. And while we wait on that front to get through here, there are other thunderstorms, and they're a bit more intense down into parts of Oklahoma and into portions of Texas. As we go into tomorrow morning, we should be seeing things settle down area-wide. It is 66 right now, 88 for the high. We've picked up over half an inch of rain in the last couple of hours at Lambert. Again, at your house, you may have close to an inch or so. And of course, that causes some water problems in the urban area. As we go towards midnight, the rain's still continuing, but it's much lighter. We'll track it through the overnight hours into very early tomorrow morning, while there still could be another rumble of thunder as we watch for the cold front to pass through here. Most of this is going to be winding down as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. Limited sunshine, though, for your Friday. If you're heading to the Valley of Flowers in Florissant, which we're looking live at Florissant behind all these pretty numbers, 77 tomorrow, even without a huge amount of sunshine. Saturday's mostly dry. Sunday, mostly dry. There's a chance this weekend we get showers and thunderstorms, but we've actually lowered the chances a bit on Sunday. Here we are timing things out for you on Saturday. Our anticipation is we'll have scattered or isolated showers and thunderstorms after 3 o'clock. They are more likely as we head into that 5 to 9 o'clock time frame. Very unlikely we would see severe weather on Saturday, but like today, 1 or 2 of those storms could be a little bit stronger. We go into Sunday, we lowered the chances for showers and storms, again, mainly later in the day, and especially south of St. Louis. Still the chance, not a washout weekend, and above average temperatures right into next week. The potential that some stronger storms will be with us, really the potential for severe weather, looks to increase somewhat going into Monday night and Tuesday. We'll fine-tune that as we get closer.
All right, Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, another ex-Cardinal had a good moment today. City SC needs to have a big weekend in Houston, and the Battlehawks have a genuine star in the making.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
These MLS standings are wacky. Take City SC. They have the fewest losses in the Western Conference, but they're in 9th place. That's because they have more ties than Rennie Knott. It's a big weekend for Coach Bradley Carnell. Saturday, he plays at Houston, who's 1 point ahead of them in the standings. And Sunday, the highlight of his weekend in studio for Sports Plus. And he doesn't seem worried about being in 9th place right now.
We believe, you stay true to your course, and over the spell of 34 match days, if you've been putting out the performances like we have been, then we should be right where we need to be. So we don't want to have the fantasy too much where we're dreaming of what's ahead and how it looks.
The Cardinals were off today, and why is everybody so pessimistic? We could be the White Sox, who are 6-25 and coming to town. This weekend, we have some real improvement too. Now, last year, after 31 games, the Cardinals were 10-21 and 10 games out. Now they're 14-17 and 5.5 games out. So we have that going for us, which is nice. Will Tyler O'Neill put himself in the pantheon of great Red Sox hitters? Too early to tell now, but he's off to a good start today against the Giants. He rips one off the Green Monster, driving in Boston's only run of the day. He has raised his batting average to .309, but the Giants won this one 3-1. Bruins at Toronto for Game 6. And although Boston has Trent Frederick and Pat Maroon, the story was another St. Louisan, Joseph Woll. He became the first goalie in NHL history where his first 3 playoff wins come in elimination games. Leafs win it 2-1. Game 7 is Saturday. It's going to be another rocking weekend at the Dome. The Battlehawks have the most exciting offense in the UFL and could run their record to an impressive 5-1. One of the most important pieces of that dominant St. Louis offense is their star wideout Hakeem Butler. Our Corey Miller sat down with Butler to talk about the season.
Down the sideline for Butler to high point it and break free. Hakeem Butler looking back and 80 yards to the house.
If you're lined up against Battlehawks receiver Hakeem Butler, I have 2 words for you. Good luck. The 6'6" wideout has dominated the UFL so far this season, leading the league in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns halfway through the campaign. And he knows how to use that big frame.
It's hard to tackle me, and Bruce, our OC, he constantly reiterates that I have to play like where I want to go, and I have to show week in and week out that I am bigger and better than everyone, so I try and do that.
But it's not just power. One analytics site clocked Butler going close to 20 miles per hour on his 80-yard gallop to the end zone last week.
I've constantly had to battle with this narrative about me that I'm slow or whatever, and even at the combine they asked me if I wanted to do tight end drills. I think what I do with my combination of size and speed, I think I'm extremely dangerous.
He may be the most dominant receiver in the league now, but this is how Butler's Battlehawk journey started. A simple direct message to Coach Anthony Becht asking for a chance.
I told him, I'm going to be one of your best players. I told him that. And for me, just to have the fun that I've been having with these guys from all over that are all chasing so many different dreams, but we're all headed the same direction,
Last year, that chance got Butler a look in the NFL from the Pittsburgh Steelers. The goal may still be to get back to the league, but right now, focus is key.
Last year, I felt like I was so focused on going to the NFL that sometimes I just wasn't where my feet are, and wasn't just grateful for the position I was in. I was constantly felt like I had to prove myself. And this year, I'm going into it just enjoying every day. And at the end of it, wherever the chips fall and wherever I land, I'm going to be thankful.
Corey Miller, 5 on Your Side Sports.
Great story by Corey, and I think he's going to play in that June 16th championship in the UFL and then be in an NFL training camp a few months later. I don't know how that guy could not be in the NFL.
He looks that much better than everybody else in this league, so one would think he's an NFL player. He does.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Frank. Well, they're the biggest cheerleaders for Missouri sports teams, and the support they showed at the state capitol today after the break.
Fred Bird and Louie were at the state capitol in Jefferson City today. They were joined by Slugger with the Kansas City Royals to carry boxes containing 340,000 signatures needed to put a sports betting initiative on the November ballot. Missouri's professional sports teams are backing legal sports betting, which they say can generate more revenue and boost engagement with younger fans. And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.